20. Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3.1, Verado High School receives a letter grade of A. I believe we have a quick presentation on that from Mr. Nowlin.
Good evening, President Terry, members of the Governing Board, Superintendent Islas, and the Agua Fria community. I am excited to be up here today. Interesting enough, Mr. Showman, principal of Verado High School, there was a crash on the 10, and he was not in the crash, but he is literally at the 10 and Dysart on the highway still right now. So, I am going to, what I do want to say is this, is that it's an extremely just celebrated moment coming through the pandemic with schools and the state of academics, right? There was concerns that people had about students being educated online and going back into person, and there's been a lot of talk about this gap, this academic gap. And I think what this shows is that the faculty, the staff, the community of Verado High School, the administration of Verado High School really band together to do what's best for students and really bring back teaching and learning at a high level. So I'm extremely proud, and we as a district and as a community are extremely proud of Verado High School earning this A rating. At this time, we do have 2 schools that are under review. So we are hoping that we'll be able to do another celebration shortly. But just once again, I really want to congratulate the faculty, the staff, the students, the parents, the community of Verado and Verado High School for this extreme high honor and achievement. And we look forward to the continued work that we're doing as a district and at Verado High School to continue to give our students that opportunity for academic success. Any questions?
Congratulations!
Yeah. Congratulations! Yay, Nate! So I just got off the phone with him. I'm sure you'll see him walk in with a big smile on his face. But really proud of the work that they were able to do, and so congrats to Verado High School. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Nate can watch that part on YouTube later. All right, item 4.1, request to address the governing board. Do we have anything? We do not have anything. We'll move on to 5.1, board policy adoption, first reading of policies. This is Dr. Pearson.
Good evening, President Terry, members of the governing board, Superintendent Islas, and members of the Agua Fria community. Tonight we present several policy updates, recommendations for first read. These are suggested ASBA policy updates resulting from the laws passed after the last legislative session. So please advise us of any updates or revisions, and we'll bring these back to you next month for a second read and ask for action at that time.
And this is a first read, so we have the month to go through it and come back with further questions, gripes, complaints.
You got it, all the above.
Anything like that. Any discussion on that? Questions? Hearing none. We are moving on to, thank you, Dr. Pearson. Thank you, Ms. Dressick. Sorry. Approval of minutes, item 6.1, consideration approval of minutes of the October 5th, 22 regular board meeting.
Be it resolved, the governing board approves the minutes for the October 5th, 2022 regular board meeting as presented.
I second.
DeCoste, yes.
Hill, yes. Landis, yes.
Terry, yes.
Acton, yes.
Item 7.1, 6.2, yes. Consideration of approval of minutes of the October 5th, 22 study session.
Be it resolved, the governing board approves the minutes of the October 5th, 2022 study session as presented.
I second. DeCoste, yes.
Hill, yes.
Landis, yes.
Terry, yes.
Acton, yes.
Item 7.1 now. Discussion and possible action to approve the nomination of Maxine Hill to the ASBA Honor Roll Award. Is that an action or?
Yes.
Okay.
The board needs to.
Oh, it would be my honor.
You want to make?
Is there anything you want to say there?
No.
I know, you'll say something.
All right, well, be it resolved, the governing board approves the nomination of Maxine Hill for the ASBA Honor Roll Award.
I second.
DeCoste, happily yes.
Can I vote for myself?
You can.
Maxine, yes.
Landis, yes.
Terry, yes.
Acton, yes.
Yay.
Congratulations, Maxine.
Congratulations, Maxine. Thank you for all of the years you've given us.
All right. Item 8.1, consideration of approval of the consent agenda. I know we have a few items that we are pulling. I would like to pull item 8.10 and 8.11. I will keep it open for a little bit
Yes.
for people to find what they needed to pull.
I'm sorry, 8.10.
10 and 11 is what I want.
I would like to pull 8.6, 8.7, and 8.9.
Have to dissect these things better. So right now I have 8.6, 8.7, 8.9, 8.10, and 8.11 pulled.
Karen, I don't have a paper copy of tonight's.
Oh, that's October's.
I'm flipping through here trying to find it, so.
Is that it then?
Anyone else?
If there's anyone else, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda minus 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11.
I move that we approve the consent agenda minus 8.6, 8.7, 8.9, 8.10, and 8.11 as
I'll
presented.
second the motion.
DeCoste, yes?
Hill, yes.
Landis, yes.
Terry, yes.
Acton, yes.
Okay, item 8.6. Consideration approval of job description revisions. Mr. Eastless, or is this going to be Ms. Jones, Mr. Huffman?
Probably depends on the nature of the question, yeah.
Okay, well, let's see. I guess most specifically, if I'm the only one that has questions, then my most specific questions would be to the, hold on a second, it's not on my paper. The justification behind the changes specifically with Director 2, senior executive officers, in both of those senior executive officer ones.
President Terry, members of the board, and Tom, I could address the senior executive officers.
I'll take the director too.
Okay, thank you. On the senior executive officers, there is a category that I have for cabinet members. These senior executive officers that I have placed on cabinet would be on par with the rest of cabinet that we have. That includes the deputy superintendent of academics, operations, and the chief of staff. These individuals are on the clock 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for their roles and responsibilities on my cabinet. I've also added a few responsibilities to each of those job descriptions, and I wanted a tier of cabinet member salary and compensations. Director 2, Mr. Huffman?
So can I
Sure.
just say something on that one? So for the senior executive of technology, I see one addition for added responsibilities and 3 for the other one.
And I know that the next agenda item comes with a significant pay increase. So this is my concern. I'll just put it out there up front, because when I'm looking at this, what I would like is a new organizational chart or something that kind of shows us how this flows, because the way I look at it is now with superintendent and effectively 5 deputy superintendent level positions, which with a district our size with 10,000 students and 5 schools, hopefully 6 soon, seems administratively heavy to me, and salary-wise and position-wise.
Sure, I totally understand that. These positions had already existed. With the level of responsibility that I've placed on them, I have put them on my cabinet team. We are not replacing the lower levels, but that is why I felt that this was at the level that I thought they should be compensated.
Director 2 is more logistical than financial. There really won't be a financial change there. The main thing is that the person in that position on a daily basis is providing direct supervision to some other staff members who also have the title of director. And this would just make things flow a little bit better logistically as far as the evaluation process if that person positionally was slightly above the other directors. Where we are salary-wise, there won't be any significant change there at all.
Okay, thank you. Would it be possible for us to vote on these job descriptions separately?
Yes. You can vote on them separately. You can motion to table. Like, we can move one to next meeting to find out more information about it, or we can do it separately as well.
Okay. Does anyone else have feelings on that?
There's any other discussion, questions, but I will allow you to make whatever motions.
Okay.
You would
Any
like
other
to.
discussions or questions on those positions?
I don't have any questions. I don't know if we need a table, but I do think we need to separate.
Okay.
So then I would move that we separate out those 6 positions listed here. Director 2, Senior Executive Officer, Technology, Senior Executive Officer of Strategic Alliance and Communication, Classified Hourly, Classified Exempt, and Classified Administrator.
All individually?
All individual.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I will entertain a motion or any action on the Director 2 update as presented.
Be it resolved, the governing board approves the Director 2 position. Does not include a salary increase.
I second.
DeCoste, yes.
Candace, yes.
Hill, yes.
That's as presented. Okay. Terry, yes. All right, moving along, Senior Executive Officer, Technology. I'll entertain a motion there. And if I do not hear a motion, I will motion to table it till next month. Correct. All right, I move we table the Executive Officer Technology till next month.
I'll second.
DeCoste, yes.
Hill, yes.
Landis, yes.
Terry, yes.
Acton, yes.
Senior Executive Officer, Strategic Alliances and Communication. Discussion, motions to be made. I'll entertain a motion to table if no one wants to.
I move that we table Senior Executive Officer of Strategic Alliance and Communications.
I'll second.
Until next month?
Until next month.
Till next month. DeCoste, yes.
Hill, yes.
Francis, yes.
Terry, yes.
Acton, yes.
I have, what's the next one on there?
Classified hourly.
Classified hour.
I move that we approve the classified hourly as presented. It says zip, so I don't.
I second.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at.
I know.
Is that fine?
DeCoste, yes.
Hill, yes.
Francis, yes.
Terry, yes.
Acton, yes.
The classified exempt and administrative, do we need to separate these, or we can,
I think we can probably-
do you want to bundle
I think
them?
we can go ahead.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion bundling both of those.
A second. DeCoste, yes.
Hill, yes.
I
Francis,
will
yes.
make that motion too. Yeah. Terry?
Acton, yes.
Terry, yes. Okay. Okay, that's item 8.6. Item 8.7, consideration of approval of compensation guide revisions. Let me move this one up as well. I have Ms. Jones' name under here, but if there's anything specifically to open the discussion with, feel free to go ahead.
So this is tied to the positions that we just tabled, so we have to pull these correct, to do it separate?
We would need to pull the administrator compensation guide. Part of it,
I think
Because
that's
senior-
the only one though. Well, what's the technology one? No, just the administrative one.
Okay. So can we go through this and splice that up, or do we have to table the whole thing?
It's up to you. It's up to the board how they want to.
Okay.
can we
so-
discuss,
so we can.
can we discuss
Okay.
8.9 first? Because 8.9 is also on here.
Yes, we can go in whatever order we'd like.
Small school.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's effective.
Yes, we don't have any motions, we don't have anything going on right now, so yes. Item 8.9, consideration of approval of job descriptions for potential future new position. I'll entertain discussion on that one. That's the small school.
So I would assume we don't have a procurement technician, so my question is, do we need a procurement? I mean, obviously you're bringing this, so you feel like you do, so justification for it.
Sure, I'll be happy to try and answer this one for Ms. Lettieri in the Finance Department. This is something that the Finance Department has talked about for quite some time. We're not sure we're ready to move forward on this one immediately, but we possibly are. We process well over 5,000 purchase orders a year in this department, and a lot of times those purchase orders are submitted by people that might only do 1 or 2 purchases a year, and they don't know about the Mojave Cooperative or the One GPA Cooperative or which scientific companies we work with for lab supplies. So the thought is that this position might actually pay for itself and then some as far as savings in the district, and would also provide a valuable service to our staff who can call in and say, hey, here's what we're looking to do. What is the best way to do that, and who should we be talking to as far as vendors go? And that's the purpose behind it.
Okay. And then the small school principal, I believe, we know a little bit about the position of the small school principal, but I think if we're, voting on adding another administrative position, it would be nice for the public to know some rationale behind that position.
I'm doing a lot of talking. I just want to be a great one for Philip to address.
Thank you. Yes, the small school principal, as you can notice, it's actually a lower grade than a regular principal position. And the rationale behind that is as we open academies and we look to open, whether it's accelerated academy or so on and so forth, we need to have the capacity to have a principal leading that school, but we also don't feel like the responsibilities of that principal will be the same as a comprehensive high school. So therefore, it would be a lower grade than a comprehensive high school principal that is managing 1,600 students.
And we're not looking at posting for that position immediately. That is something that we're
Okay.
wanting to have in place for the future.
My next
And if we
question.
don't
Thank you.
approve it, then we have to go back, and the process just takes a little bit longer. So this is something that would be in place, and as we move forward, it would give us the opportunity to do that, if so, that opportunity presents itself.
I noticed you said 1,600.
1,600, because that's our smallest school.
Smallest school. Okay, thank you.
Any further questions, discussion on item 8.9? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Be it resolved, the governing board approves the new positions with corresponding job descriptions as presented.
I second.
DeCoste, yes?
Hill, yes.
Landis, yes?
Terry, yes.
Acton, yes.
Okay, back to item 8.7, I believe. Is that where you,
Was- Yes.
okay. So if there's any other discussion, you can make a motion to splice that up, or we can approve as a whole. I will,
So I think we would want to approve it with the exception of the senior executive officer. Right? That's the only one that we're adding.
yeah, because
that
there were
didn't get
two.
approved.
Okay. Then,
Yet.
yes, I'll entertain a motion.
Go ahead, Gina.
Say that. Go ahead.
I move that we approve the administrative initial placement compensation guide with the exception of the senior executive officer as presented.
I second.
DeCoste, yes.
Hill, yes.
Landis, yes?
Terry, yes.
Acton, yes.
Okay, item 8.10. All right, certified and classified salary recommendations. I believe Mr. Huffman, can you give us a little more detail on this one?
Sure, I'd be happy to discuss those. Thank you, Mr. Terry, members of the board again, Mr. Superintendent, the members of the community. And I'll probably address a little bit of 8.11 at the same time because
Okay.
it's pretty similar. Typically, we work with staff on the meet and confer process after the new year. That's our certified and our classified staff. They're an awesome group to work with. And this year we got started in the fall because, as you're well aware, the legislature provided some additional funds to the school district this summer right at the end of their session. So we've had these additional funds, but we wanted to be very cautious because of this override status. And if the override didn't pass, then we would have a hard time providing any additional funds. Most districts went ahead and provided raises right at the start of the year, but those were districts that were not out for an override for this school year. So by the passing of our override, and you see it here, it says here on here that these are contingent upon the passing of the override. We worked with Ms. Letary, the finance office, and Mrs. Jones in HR, and we were able to allot $2.4 million to the meet and confer process for right now. And these are monies that are ongoing monies, and there is no, funding cliff involved, so these we believe are sustainable funds. Also, we were able to commit some additional classroom site funds that have come in from the state this year. Many of us know those classroom site funds as Proposition 301 monies. So as the state coffers have gotten better, then we receive additional classroom site funds as well. So the recommendation before you tonight is to provide certified staff a 6% increase in their pay. That's divided up 3% from our M&O funds. Once again, that's from the legislative increases. That's about 1.1 million approximately. Another similar amount, 3%, to come from the classroom site funds. By statute, classroom site funds can only go to our certified staff. So that's the total of the 6% for the certified staff. The certified staff and everybody on Meet and Confer agreed that they would like for whatever the certified staff got for the classified staff to get a little more percentage-wise. And we dug in there, and we're able to provide $1.30 per hour to each of our classified staff members, which adds up to just a bit over a 7% average raise for the average classified staff member. That's about $1.2 million. Along with that, we're looking at an average 3% raise for administration. That costs about $220,000 total. The way we would pay that administrative raise out, though, is to take the average 3%, which is $3,300, and give that amount to all administrators equally across the board. What that will do is our lower paid administrators would receive slightly more than 3%, and our higher paid administrators would receive less than a 3% raise by doing it that way. And one of the things that we've been working on very hard is to make sure that we had all of our staff in the proper range and didn't want the higher level teachers passing some of our administrators and losing that in whatever incentive there was to move into administration. So that leaves me in Confer still with a lot of work to do in the spring, though, and we'll be coming back to you at that time. And on the positive side, this process left a little over $107,000 on the table, so we'll be addressing what to do with that. Also, we know that through the legislature, we'll be receiving a 2% inflation increase this next year, as well as any growth that we have in the district, which we should be able to identify better in the spring. Also, we believe that there are still some additional classroom site funds that are available to be allotted in the spring as well. So there's some things on the positive side. The challenges we have to offset those, are looking to offset in the spring, are benefits. We're looking to receive our update on what our benefit costs are around January 10th. So because of that, we're reconvening Meet and Confer starting on January 17th. Now, we would be very surprised if there wasn't some increase to our benefits just because of the nature of medical costs in general and the inflationary period that we're going through right now. Also, we'll be able to at that time look at where we're at with staffing for the upcoming school year, as well as we will know our high school 6 status. We will know if we've been awarded high school 6 by that point and any needs we might have with that project, as well as where academics are on the process of moving forward with academies. And then the final one is with our bond not passing, capital dollars will become very precious in our district. We're spending a lot of time right now talking about the best use of our capital dollars to ensure that we are taking care of our buildings, that we're getting Mr. and Allen the resources and the principals the resources they need to produce A schools, and to make sure that our schools are safe for our staff and for our students to go to school every day. So we're spending a lot of time talking about where we are with capital needs right now as well. So that's where we are kind of overall with the Meet and Confer process, and why we're bringing you the recommendations we're bringing to you tonight. Happy to entertain any questions.
Can you just confirm on this? It's primarily new funding from the legislature adding money before they adjourn session over the summer.
Yes,
This does not really affect our bottom line with our budget, doesn't hurt our carryover from what we've projected in our previous budgets that we've approved.
Those are all accurate.
And this is all ongoing funding, not one-time funding?
Correct.
Okay.
And should this pass, how's the staff and when does this start for the teachers?
So we're looking at all of this will be in place. There's a lot of work HR will have to do following this to address over 900 notices of appointment and addendums of contracts. But we're hoping all this will be in place for the start of the second semester, which is why we're bringing it to you now, to give the time for that work to happen. And then also as part of this, that the teachers' raises will be retroactive back to the start of the school year. So they will receive a separate check, I believe, on January 17th.
Can't get it out by the holiday? Just kidding.
It is interesting, they have some 301 funds, and some of those things are coming out just prior to the holiday.
Thank you.
That's very exciting for teachers and classified staff to get more money in mid-year just don't expect that. It's nice to be able to offer them that.
And I'd like to say thank you to them for being patient.
Yes.
You know, it was hard to watch some other districts get raises, and we just got a small one. So I appreciate all of our staff for being patient with this, and I'm waiting.
Yes. I will entertain a motion on 8.10 if there is no further discussion.
I move that we approve 8.10 as presented.
I'll second.
DeCoste, yes.
Hill, yes.
Landis, yes.
Terry, yes.
Acton, yes.
Item 8.11, you talked about that. Any further discussions on the administrative side? Questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that the governing board approves the certified and classified salary. No, I didn't
8.11.
move fast enough, sorry. Administrative salary increase recommendations as presented.
I'll second.
DeCoste, yes.
Hill, yes.
Landis, yes.
Terry, yes.
Acton, yes.
Okay. Is that all of the consent agenda? Yeah.
We did.
Okay, I can't remember. Okay.
When you pull it apart like that, it's hard to keep track.
Yeah, that's
Not
my
you,
fault.
When I pull it apart.
All right, item 9.1, comments and/or information from Superintendent Eastless and/or his cabinet. Mr. Eastless.
Yes, President Terry, members of the governing board, Agua Fria community, I'm excited, as you are, to report that we actually passed the override. We got some of our numbers from our consultant, the person we've been working with, Paul Benson. We had actually had a larger margin of victory on our override than we've had since 2011 or something like that. So I want to certainly thank the community for coming out to support us in our override. It certainly means for us that we could continue to try to attract and retain the best quality staff that we can, as evidenced from some of your approvals earlier just a few minutes ago. It also allows us to continue to work with what the community wanted us to do in our Decade of Dreams and our 10-year strategic plan. So we're very excited to be moving forward with that. I do want to thank some people in particular. I'm not sure if the governing board knows this, but we had a teacher in the Avondale Elementary School District, Nicole Wolf, that actually stepped up to be the chair of the committee. Not only did she teach all day and work in Avondale, working very hard as a teacher, but she actually volunteered to be the continued quality chairperson, and actually did a really good job of organizing and facilitating everything that we did for the bond and override. I do want to thank some staff that volunteered. It was very helpful to see people out there volunteering and working so hard. I know that every day that I was out there, I appreciated some of the volunteers. I think here on staff, the two people that need to be thanked the most, and as I was out on the campaign trail every evening and every weekend, there were often times, or almost every time, that Megan Griego was by my side out in the community working hard to pass the bond and override. Gave up a lot of time, free, personal time, family time, to be out there to help everybody and to help us pass that override. Also would like to thank Dan Grumbling, who was our staff representative. Dan also was out there giving up all his time and on weekends, on events, and working extremely hard for this cause. Without Megan and Dan, I don't know how strong our efforts would have been to pass the override, because they definitely worked extremely hard for that. So to both of you, thank you very much for doing this for our community. We're excited to move forward. We did lose the bond, so we will be getting back to work, seeing what we can do to make sure we earn the trust of our community so they can vote positively or to vote yes on a bond if the board so chooses to do that in the coming years. We know that we are facing skyrocketing growth in this district. Our schools and classrooms are overcrowded and almost busting at the seams, and we have at least, I don't know, how many millions of dollars in repairs just to keep up our facilities and the things that we have to do to maintain a safe learning environment for our kids. So we'll go back to the drawing board. We will take a look at what it is that we have to do to earn that trust of the community, and hopefully, if the board so chooses, we can go out for another bond next year or the following year, based on information we get and the direction that we want to head. So overall, very pleased that we passed the override so we can continue to make progress on our 10-year strategic plan. Want to say, is Nate here yet?
He is.
Hey, Nate. Nate, can you come up for a second, please? You missed a great presentation from Mr. Nolan regarding Verado becoming an A school, and how proud the governing board and the community, and how proud we are of you and your staff to come out of the pandemic and work so hard to earn that A. And we all got to listen again to Philip be pretty specific about your road to successfully getting an A, but now we would like to hear from you.
Well, first, apologize for missing that introduction, so thank you, Mr. Allen, for the kind words. But overall, it is just an exciting moment for the Verado community. We've been so close so many years, but to come out with an A out of last year, when really the mission was, let's get kids back into the building, let's get them kind of reintegrated to what school life is really like. And then still to have that type of success to earn that A rating is really a testament to just how hard our staff worked last year. Just how invested our students were in getting back to let's be involved, let's be engaged, let's be a part of teams and programs and activities again. But then also the parents and the community support, because we had to pivot and change on a lot of different things throughout those years. And as everybody here knows, an A label doesn't just come in 1 year. It's the culmination of all 4 years of a student's academic work. So it was years in the making. It was a lot of collaboration and team effort on all levels of stakeholders that made it happen. But ultimately, we're so pleased, we're so proud, and we're looking forward to continuing this and moving forward. Now that we have our students back, we're pushing forward with some of our projects and initiatives. We're hopeful that we're going to continue a run of A ratings for years to come. But it was very exciting and a very proud moment for our school community. So thank you, and I'm glad I got the chance to jump. Thank you.
Also want to announce that I think, Nicole is here. Do we have your, was that your boys and girls swim and dive state championship? Or boys swim and dive state champions at Millennium High School. So congratulations for that. I was also sitting next to Mr. Terry and William and George. And did we have James that day? No.
Which
At the volleyball game. No, we didn't.
No, James.
Either that or we forgot James somewhere. But I went to go see Millennium play the girls' state volleyball championship at Veteran Memorial College. They fell short, but they made the state championship again. And at the next meeting in December, we will have Mr. Nolan report all the great things that have happened this semester at our schools. We have great things going on in the arts, athletics. We have some wonderful things that are happening coming out of the CTE department, and a lot of really neat things that I'd like you to hear and we'd like to announce at a board meeting. So again, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Eastless. Item 9.2, Governing Board Member, Summary of Current Events and/or Direction Given to the Superintendent.
Again, Verado, congratulations. There's a lot that goes into that. That's also grad rate, that's teachers, that's counselors, that's administrators, tracking down kids, finding them, bringing them back to school during the difficult pandemic or at the end of it. And so there's so much data that if you're not in education, you don't know. that's tracked down and tracked on each one of these students. So good job going to get them and bringing them back and then accelerating them academically. Of course, I spend a lot of time at football, so I've been to a lot of football events. Congratulations we have 4 football teams that are in the playoffs. I got to attend the district swim meet, and I thank Agua Fria for, swim doesn't get a lot of attention, and so it's nice to see a nice district event like that, where the seniors are honored, and I really appreciated that. And Mr. Eastles, thank you for leading the way to try to pass the bond and for passing the override. I have multiple people across our community say they've never seen a superintendent work that hard. Now, we did have someone, I was on Facebook one day, that said, "Who is this man with my child?" I don't know, what do you do? So now maybe you're a local celebrity, but more people know who you are and know who we are, and thank you for your efforts to get it all passed. I do know that you are working around the clock and putting your best efforts forward, and your team. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, first of all, Nate, congratulations to you and your team. It's very nice to see that. And I just personally wanted to say congratulations. I tried to call you, didn't get it, so here it is tonight. Congratulations. The second event I had an opportunity to attend is the Nashville study session. I chose to work not as a teacher, but attending the non-teaching part of what the Nashville opportunities were about. It is not a cookie cutter type program. Based on my understanding of what was going on, there was large groups of people from all over. One thing is they have created a centralized storage place for supplies, and that's called the Pencil Company, and I thought that was very neat. I did attend the sessions on Wednesday. That was the one in which I had an opportunity to meet the superintendent and other board members, and they talked about their funding. They have a very different funding than we here. Ours is from the state, but in Nashville, you have 2 categories. You have public education for schools, and then you have rural education. The funding comes from the mayor, the work with the mayor, not with the state. So I thought that was very interesting, and that was a very interesting session. I've talked with Philip, and he is going to give you a brief summary in the next week or 2. I don't want to put you on the spot, Philip, but whenever you can, so the board has a more in-depth idea of what that program is about. He agreed to this beforehand. The other thing I wanted to say, as usual, the Veterans Day program was just awesome. Each veteran and active duty person that was in the audience was allowed to come up, and we were in conjunction with Avondale and Litchfield and of course Mark, and shake their hands. And it was a very long session. I was just amazed at how many people were in the room. But as usual, it was a fantastic session, and it was great to honor those individuals who's given their all so that we may be able to live safely. So thank you.
All right. Congratulations to Verado. Very exciting as a Verado parent. I love bragging about this now. So great work being done there. To go off Ms. Hill here, the Veterans Luncheon was just phenomenal. It was a very cold, rainy day, but I don't think you could have been in that hangar and not been touched emotionally by the sacrifice and service of those around us. So Megan, your team, Melinda, Lexi, Gabby, it was just phenomenal. Just great job. To touch briefly, Mr. Eastlis, you said that you weren't sure we were going to work to earn trust regarding not passing the bond. I'm not sure if it's that or that we just need to continue to educate people and let them know what we're doing and what a bond is and how it's going to be used. I think you have done an exceptional job, and your team, you have shown them that they can trust us. I think that we sit up here and try to do the same thing. We are trying to be as transparent and trustworthy and keep our kids safe. And by passing a bond, that's what we need to continue to keep our kids safe, by having the right space and the facilities and the equipment to do so. So you said earn their trust. I'm not sure that's it. I think we need to continue to educate people on a deeper level of why we need this, because it's not, oh, it didn't pass, we'll figure something out. We're going to do it again. We have to. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I have missed all the fun stuff as a board member for the last month or so, so I'm sorry. We had a death in the family. I had to cancel Nashville, which I was really looking forward to, missed the Veterans Luncheon, but I'm back and I'll be visiting and doing all the fun stuff that we have coming up in the district. But I do want to thank all of our staff, especially Mr. Eastlis and Megan, for all their hard work on the override, and our community for supporting our schools for the override. And I think that Kristen is right, that we really just need to educate. And I think it came down to more money, and then it's like, how much more money do they need? And maybe that was the no vote. I don't know. But I think we can do it. I think we need that school, and I think our community will understand, and they'll be excited about the plans that are coming in the future as we tell them about that and that we can make it happen. Congratulations, of course, Nate. I don't know if you're going to be able to get your head out the door, but very excited for Verado to finally get an A label. But I do want to say I'm super proud of all of our other schools, too, because a B label is fantastic, too. And all of our staff and our administrators should be very proud of your schools and the hard work that you're doing. We go to the schools and we see the great communities that you have and the culture and the fun that the kids are having and everything going on. You know, it's really hard to go into one school and say, oh, that's an A school and that's the B school. No, they're all amazing and you're all doing wonderful work. So thank you for that.
All right. Always going last, I tend to just repeat several things. But I do want to kick off something that Mr. Isla said about our Millennium volleyball program. It's their 5th straight year reaching the state championship game. It's becoming, I think I said this exact phrase last year, but it's one of the more premier athletic programs in the entire state. And a lot of that credit goes to Coach Fastine, the volleyball coach there at Millennium. So just wanted to give them a shout out. They came up short again. I believe Horizon, every game there was very close. Some of them went to extra. It was just a little short, but that's an incredible program. So I wanted to give them a shout out here from the top. Veterans Day Luncheon, of course, that's something that I guess tend to participate, or it hits me a little harder. I appreciate that something since you've come on to the district, Mr. Eastlis, it's a priority of yours, Ms. Griego, the work you and your staff have done involving our entire community, our feeder districts, and honoring those in our community, staff members throughout our district, and just all of our community partners that we work with for that sort of recognition. I hear so much at that event. You know, we've only done it twice. I look forward to doing it again, but I hear so much from people that are just thankful to have an event like this here in the Southwest Valley. With all the growth out here, something folks tend to skip over is that we don't have as many community events as some more established older communities elsewhere in the valley or in the state may have. So I really appreciate that event we put on. It's a first-class event. It's just an honor to participate in that. Fine arts athletic programs, as Ms. Landis said, we have 4 programs, football programs entering the playoffs this this weekend, so Friday. Wish them the best of luck. I know fine arts programs, speaking of premier programs, again, Millennium, being a Millennium grad, you know, Kristen got to talk about Verado, but Millennium's band has for decades been known as one of the top ones in the entire state, and I know they are, you know, not wavering or dropping down from that level at all. So, I guess just on the override, I want to just, you know, sign on to what was said previously about the work that folks have done in their volunteer time. This, to be clear, this is nothing to do with district resources, nothing to do with during the workday, school hours. These are folks taking their evenings and weekends, getting out there, sharing information with the community to share what we are doing, how we would plan to use said funds. You saw a little bit of that earlier today. I also just want to emphasize, you know, when it comes to the override and the bond that we put forward, a lot of work that was done not only by Mr. Eastless and Mr. Huffman, because I'm on them quite a bit on this front, but Ms. Bolton-Latari on the finance team to be able to put forward a bond that would not raise the tax rate on folks. To be able to put forward an override, explain what that is, that we are not asking for a penny more from members of our community. And that's a lot of work on our financial side as well. So I wanted to give you thanks and send a little appreciation your way as well. And then on, I believe Mr. Huffman mentioned it a little bit ago, but our bond did not pass, but we still need a new high school. Every single one of our schools are overflowing at the seams, and leading on to what I just said, I know we've already had discussions about it. We are looking at ways of moving forward with a new high school and finding ways to have the funds to do so, whether it be in a phased approach or something else. It's been 16 going on 17 years now with all the growth out here. We've only grown by one school, and our student population has almost doubled in that time. It is imperative for us to provide, as a school district, we are serving our community, provide a top-notch, first-rate education for the students that come to our schools, and we look forward to doing so with the facility space available and seeing what we can do on moving forward with High School 6. So with that, I will filibuster no longer. Yeah.
I think we all had a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
We had to get it out.
There's a lot of work that we have done, but a lot of work to do, and because we haven't fully moved on yet, a lot of this community involvement. For anyone who had the idea that this was just because of an override or a bond on the ballot, and, oh, they're just being out there in the community because they need to sell themselves. No, that, all the work, especially on Megan on the community relations side, that doesn't stop. That's how we should be acting, whether we are for the community asking for support or not. Building these relationships, building these partnerships. We serve our community. We are a service to them, and we need to make sure we are catering to their needs every step of the way. So with that, now I am done. Item 10.1, request for future agenda items.
I have none.
No.
Hearing none, we will go to item 11.1, convene executive session pursuant to ARS 15-843. Just a little heads up, after this executive session, we will be adjourning the meeting, so don't feel the need to hang out with us for a while, but I will entertain a motion to enter executive session.
So moved.
A second.
DeCoste, yes?
Hill, yes?
Landis, yes.
Terry, yes.
Acting, yes.
Okay, I will actually say a 7-minute break before executive session.
Thank you.
And we are not adjourned, but we are moving. We are taking a 7-minute break, and then we will.
You gonna call order of the court or what?
No, I am just going to voice,
I move that we adjourn our meeting.
no.
I move that we adjourn our executive session.
I second.
DeCoste, yes.
Hell, yes.
Landis, yes.
Terry, yes.
Acton, yes.
Okay, we are now adjourned from executive session. Item 12.1, consideration to adjourn our meeting.
So moved.
I second.
DeCoste, yes.
Landis, yes.
Terry, yes.
Acton, yes.
We are adjourned.